Skyfall, the 23rd James Bond film, and a turning point in the iconic 007 franchise. Directed by Sam Mendes and starring Daniel Craig in his third outing as the British super spy, this movie redefined the Bond series for a new era. But what makes Skyfall stand out? Let's dive in. Released in 2012, Skyfall wasn't just another action-packed Bond movie. It was a deep dive into Bond's past, his loyalty to MI6, and the relationship between him and his longtime ally, and played by Judi Dench. In many ways, it's about reinvention, both for Bond and for the franchise. One of the most striking elements of Skyfall is the personal stakes. We learn more about Bond's backstory, especially regarding his parents. With the introduction of Skyfall on a location that plays a symbolic role in his emotional journey. This film is not just about saving the world, but about saving himself from his own demons. Now, let's talk about the villain, Raoul Silva, played by Javier Bardem. Silva isn't just another evil mastermind, is a product of MI6's betrayal. He's not just after money or power. He's driven by revenge against him, the woman who abandoned him. His motivations bring a new level of depth to the villain, making him a compelling character who isn't just a physical threat, but an emotional one. One of the standout moments in the movie is the action. Skyfall delivers some of the best stunts in the Bond franchise, from the opening chase through Istanbul to the gripping finale set in the Scottish Highlands. Sam Mendes' direction brings an emotional weight to the set pieces, making every explosion, every gunshot, feel meaningful. The visuals in Skyfall are stunning, thanks in part to Roger Deakins, who served as the cinematographer. The film's use of light and shadow creates a mood that's both sleek and haunting, adding layers of intensity to the story. You can feel the weight of every shot, especially in the darker moments. But what really elevates Skyfall is the theme of legacy. What does it mean to be Bond in a changing world? Is there a place for an old-school spy in the modern age? These questions are explored throughout the film, especially through him and Bond's dynamic. At its core, Skyfall is about the choices we make and how they define us. James Bond's loyalty to M is tested when her past comes back to haunt her. When MI6 comes under attack, 007 must track down and destroy the threat, no matter how personal the cost. When James Bond's latest assignment goes gravely wrong and agents around the world are exposed, MI6 is attacked, forcing him to relocate the agency. These events cause her authority and position to be challenged by Gareth Mallory, the new chairman of the Intelligence and Security Committee. With MI6 now compromised from both inside and out, M is left with one ally she can trust, Bond. 7 takes to the shadows, aided only by field agent Miss Eve Moneypenny, following a trail to a mysterious enemy, whose lethal and hidden motives have yet to reveal themselves. In Istanbul, MI6 agents James Bond Daniel Craig and Eve Moneypenny Naomi Harris pursue mercenary Patrice O'Leary, who has stolen a hard drive containing details of undercover agents placed in terrorist organizations by NATO states. After a pursuit across Istanbul, Patrice wounds Bond in the shoulder, and as the two men fight atop a train, Judi Dench orders Moneypenny to shoot Patrice, despite not having a clear shot. Moneypenny inadvertently hits Bond, who falls into a river. Bond is presumed dead and Patrice escapes with the hard drive. 3 months later, due to a public inquiry into M's handling of the stolen hard drive, she is pressured to retire by Gareth Mallory Ralph Fiennes, the chairman of the Intelligence and Security Committee of Parliament and a former SAS officer. Although she claims she is still useful, MI6's servers are hacked, and M receives a taunting computer message moments before the MI6 building explodes. MI6 relocates to its emergency offices underground. Bond, who used his presumed death to retire, learns of the attack and returns to service in London. He fails a series of physical, medical, and psychological examinations, but M approves his return to the field. ordering him to identify Patrice's employer, recover the hard drive, and kill Patrice. He meets Q Wishaw, Mi-6's new quartermaster, who gives him a radio beacon and a Walter PPK pistol. Shrapnel taken from Bond's shoulder wound helps identify Patrice, and intelligence places him in Shanghai. In Shanghai, Bond follows Patrice from the airport. Patrice heads to a building and sets up his rifle for a shot. Bond is unable to prevent him killing a target. The two fight, and Patrice falls to his death before Bond can learn his employer's identity. Bond finds a casino token Patrice intended to cash in for the assassination, leading him to a casino in Macau. In the meantime, the list has been decrypted and a message sent to M that 5 names will be posted on the internet every week. At the casino, Bond is approached by Severine Bernice Marlowe, Patrice's accomplice when Bond tries to cash the chip, which was worth $1 for him. Severine understands that Bond killed Patrice as he wanted to meet Patrice's employer, who is also her employer. Recognizing her tattoo, he concludes she was a sex slave rescued by a criminal who now employs her, a man Bond wishes to meet. She warns him he is targeted by her bodyguards, but promises to help if Bond kills her employer. She wants to be free of Silva and hence agrees to help Bond. Bond thwarts the attack and joins Severine on her yacht, the Chimera. British agents start turning up dead and Mallory ups the pressure on him and orders a public inquiry into the leaks. They travel to an abandoned island off the coast of Macau, where the crew captures and delivers them to Severine's employer, Raoul Silva Javier Bardem. Once an MI6 agent, Silva turned to cyber terrorism and orchestrated the attack on MI6. Silva reveals his hatred for him and talks about how M always lied to him and betrayed him, which got Silva captured. Silva also tells Bond that he has also been lied to by M. He failed his evaluation, but M told him that he had passed. Silva had tried to end his life by taking the cyanide pill when he was captured by the Chinese, but it simply dissolved the insides of Silva's lower jaw but kept him alive. Silva tries to recruit Bond for his organization, but Bond just pretends to play along. Silva kills Severine, but Bond alerts MI6 reinforcements who capture Silva for rendition to Britain. M tells Bond that Silva was an agent in the Hong Kong office and a brilliant hacker, but he had started acting beyond his brief in hacking the Chinese. The HK transition was coming up, so M gave up Silva in exchange for 6 agents and in a peaceful transition. At Mi-6's new underground headquarters, Q attempts to decrypt Silva's laptop, but inadvertently gives it access to the MI6 servers, allowing Silva to escape. Q concludes Silva wanted to be captured as part of a plan to kill him, whom he resents for disavowing and betraying him to the Chinese government in 1997, leaving him to be tortured and disfigured. Bond gives Silva chase through the London Underground, where Silva destroys an underground tunnel and a whole tube train, falls through it on Bond, but he escapes and thwarts Silva's attack at a Parliament inquiry where M is present, instructing Q and Bill Tanner Rory Kinnear to leave an electronic trail for Silva to follow. Bond uses his Aston Martin DB5 to take him to Skyfall, his childhood home in the Scottish Highlands. They meet Skyfall's gamekeeper Kincaid Albert Finney, and together the trio set up a series of booby traps throughout the house. When Silva's men arrive, Bond, M, and Kincaid kill most of them, but M is wounded. Silva arrives by helicopter with more men and heavy weapons, so Bond sends M and Kincaid through a priest's hole to hide in a nearby chapel and rigs propane tanks to explode. As the house and the helicopter are destroyed, Bond escapes down the same tunnel. Silva survives the destruction of the house, following Kincaid and M to the chapel. Confronting M, Silva forces his gun into her hand and presses his temple to hers, begging her to kill them both. Bond arrives and kills Silva by throwing a knife into his back. M then succumbs to her wounds and dies in Bond's arms. Following M's funeral, Moneypenny formally introduces herself to Bond. and tells him she is retiring from fieldwork to become secretary for Mallory, the newly appointed M. Bond meets with Mallory and tells him he is ready to get back to work. In the end, Skyfall isn't just a celebration of Bond's resilience, it's a celebration of the franchise's ability to evolve. It takes everything fans love about Bond, then gives it a personal, emotional twist that makes this film feel like a reflection of both the character and the series. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this analysis, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more content, and share your thoughts on Skyfall in the comments. What did you think of Daniel Craig's take on Bond? And how does Skyfall compare to the other entries in the franchise? See you next time.